Hey, I want to show you a great verse in John chapter 15, verse 1. Jesus said, I am the true vine. Now, earlier in John chapter 14, verse 6, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. There are absolutes. It's not relative. It's not my truth, your truth. It's not vague. It's not like a shady, shifty subject. It's concrete. It's reliable. Truth is truth. Falsehood is falsehood. Plain and simple. And Jesus says, I'm the true vine. And my Father is the vine dresser or the gardener. And every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. And every branch that bears fruit, he prunes it so that it may bear more fruit. You are already pruned or cleaned because of the word which I have spoken to you. Abide in me and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself unless it abides in the vine, so neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him, he bears much fruit, for apart from me, you can do nothing. Wow. God created Adam and Eve for connection. The true vine speaks with such amazing imagery. If you imagine a plant in your garden or in your yard that has roots, it has a trunk, and it has branch systems, and then it has vines. Like he's talking to people who understood grapevines. The water was so poor in the times, biblical times, that they would press grapes and there would be a purity to it, whereas the water was often polluted. And the true vine talks about the true God, the true branch, and he's talking to us about us being grafted in my case, as a non-Jewish, growing up, as a Gentile. Later on in Romans, it talks about being grafted in to the original olive plant. And this speaks of abiding in, staying connected to, fellowshipping with God, acknowledging him. We're at our best when we do that. We're at our worst when we don't. Apart from him, we could do nothing. But Philippians 4:13, when Paul was talking about his circumstances and trials of life, he said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. What he was talking about then was, I've learned to go hungry. I've learned to be satisfied. I've learned to go through difficulty. I've learned to go through ease. And I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. But this verse, apart from me, you can do nothing. Now, I drove down to a hospital visit yesterday, and I drove down a highway, and I saw these big buildings built by people. And you could see that humanity can build things. But unless its basis is on God, it's temporary. I think about building our house on the rock, staying connected with and tethered to the Lord. I can sense in my Christian life, the times I have struggled the most is when I was indifferent or distant from God. The times I've got the greatest breakthrough is when I've drawn near to him. It says in the book of James, draw near to God, he'll draw near to you. Then it says, resist the devil and he will flee from you. So that's good news. There's a devil. Peter said in 1 Peter chapter 5, we're to be on the alert. Our adversary, the devil, is like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour, but resist him firm in the faith. How do we resist him? Number one, not by being preoccupied and rebuking the devil, that we do that, but we're to be worshipers of God more than we are to be rebukers of the devil. However, we're not to be ignorant of the devil's devices or schemes. He's a liar and he's a trickster. He's the accuser of the brethren, and he comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. Whereas Jesus is abidingly true. He's trustworthy. He's so amazing, so merciful, so good, You see how he dealt with a woman caught in the act of adultery. He said, where are your accusers? She said, they all left. He said, let him that's never sinned cast the first stone. They were getting ready to stone her based on the Jewish law. But Jesus came in to fulfill the law. Jesus came in to save sinners. And he said, neither do I condemn you. He said, go and sin no more. So we want to stay connected to and tethered in and abiding with him every day, and trust that that true vine, that true bread, that true life stays front and center in everything we do. God bless you.